What's up, YouTube family? Today what I am posting about is how to make a Spanish dinner. Now I've already started my rice. What I did is I put it in the pot and then I washed it 3 times. When you wash the rice, most of you already know that it has like some type of powder on it. Whatever it is, I don't know, but you have to wash it. So when you wash it, you basically are clearing it out. So you'll see it every time you wash the water. You throw the water out, you put more water, you wash it again, you throw it out. It starts to clear up, right? So I do it about 4 times, and then we get this, what you see right now. So what I do here, and I wash it with cold water, because if you wash it with warm or hot water, you're starting the cooking process, which will mess up your rice, or it does for me, to the consistency that I want. So okay, so what I do here is, I have it on. As you can see, it doesn't have that much water in it, right? It's enough to steam it, because that's what you want to do. So what I do with this is I put it on low heat. Well, not really low heat, it's like medium heat that I put it on. And when I put it on medium heat, then what I do is I let all the water boil out. Once it boils out, I put the fire down to low, and I'm going to show you that pretty shortly. So what happens is when you put it down to low, you cover it up and you let it steam for about 30 minutes. But in between the steaming, you open the lid, and I do it fairly different from what everybody else does it, but you open the lid, you mix the rice a little bit more, and then you close it, let it cook for another 10 minutes, mix the rice again, and then you close it, and then you do it again. So basically what I'm trying to do in this process is to make sure that every grain is cooked to the consistency that I want. Now the rice that I use is Carolina jasmine rice. You can find this at the supermarket. And if you're wondering how much I buy, I usually buy a 20-pound bag, and the 20-pound bag can last us anywhere from 2 months to 2.5 months, depending on how often we eat the rice, which sometimes we don't, we just eat salad or whatever. Now over here I have what we call a mixture of Roman beans and pinto beans. It's mixed together. Why? It's because I don't know, I just felt like mixing it together. So it's boiling right now. These are dried beans, and I only put enough for myself because my family really doesn't like beans like that, but I wanted it. So I'm going to show you how I make the beans, and it's what my family calls Spanish style, because I'm half Dominican and half Puerto Rican, which, comes to being Hispanic. But I grew up with my mother, who is Dominican. A little background about myself. And so I'm going to cook this how she cooks it. So basically, I boil these beans for about 2 hours. The water does boil out, so you do have to be mindful of replacing the water when it does boil out, because you do want this to boil for 2 minutes. If you're like my mother, you have I think it's called a pressure cooker, and you would put the beans in there, and I think it cuts the time in half. But okay, so the reason why we're boiling these beans is because what we want to do is to make it really, really, really soft, so that when we eat it, it's not like that rough or hard taste. So I'll tell you about this as we go by. Right here, what I did over here, once I put the water in, I put the flame on medium-high heat so that the water can boil out. Once it boils out, I'm going to turn down the flame to just about medium-low. You don't want it too high, because if it's too high, then you're going to burn your rice. You don't want it too low, because if it's too low, then it's going to take forever for you to cook your rice. So now that the water is boiled out, you put a lid on top of it. Steams up pretty fast. Again, over here we have beans. They're dry beans. What I do is I let them sit for about 2 hours in water. The water is going to boil out, and when it boils out, you have to make sure you replace the water, because you want the beans to get very, very soft, so that when you bite into it, it's not going to be hard. You want it to be as soft as if you were going to boil a potato and you boil it to the point where you can mash the potatoes up to make mashed potatoes. So that takes a while because it is dry beans. I'm going to show you how I do it the Spanish way. Okay, here we are again. We're back at the chicken, the stewed chicken again, right? Also known as Spanish chicken. And if you can see, it does have some type of sauce in it. Okay? The sauce came from the chicken, but you can't really cook the chicken in this sauce. The flame is kind of high, right? But you don't want it that high, so you're going to go down a bit, right? You go down a bit, and then you take some water. Not a lot, look. It's not a lot at all. You put some water in it. That's all you need. Because again, the chicken throws out its own water. So now we're just going to cover it and let it cook. Moving on to the vegetables. I have butter in there. It looks like it's a lot. Oh, let's see if it'll clear up. There we go. I have butter in there. And it's the vegetables is carrots and sweet peas. I have butter in there just to make it. I know the lid is a little bit too big, but whatever. The chicken is still frying. Rice is done. Let me give you a little look again. Beans are done. Oops. Okay, there you go. Fried chicken. Again, it's not floured because they don't like it floured.